Tesla Model S. The Plaid review.
The Model S. This is an ambitious goal to create a whole new kind of car. A lot of Wall Street is betting Tesla can't get it done.
When the Model S Plaid was released back in 2021, journalists were quick to point out all of the different flaws it had. But sometimes we should take a step back and appreciate the things it can do versus what it can't. I'll be going through in depth all the different details of the inside and out of the Model S Plaid, as well as how well it performs in driving day to day and in a straight line. Most importantly, I will help you decide if it's worth saving up for. Sit back, grab some snacks, and let's find out together.
I want you to go ahead and cancel all of your theme park passes. Wonderland, Six Flags, Universal Studios, I don't care what it is, because behind me, we have a portable roller coaster. It goes 0 to 60 in claimed 1.99 seconds. We're gonna be testing that out to see if that's true, but if it is, I'm a little bit terrified, I gotta tell you. When the Model S Plaid was initially released, it used to be a 6-figure car base before you added any different options. But as of right now, it's $89,990. And with this kind of performance, it was absolutely unheard of when I was yay high. You're getting yourself an absolute Lamborghini killer for a great price point. It has an estimated range of 359 miles and a top speed of 200 miles per hour. And the Model S Plaid comes with these cool matrix LED headlights that has these cool line running through it. And I'm glad that the new Model 3 Refreshed is copying suit, because I gotta admit, these look better than the Model Y and the old Model 3. If you notice the paint, it's actually my favorite color for a Model S Plaid, the Ultra Red. And guess what the owner did? They put an Ultra Red wrap on a key fob itself so it can match. And to open the front, it's a matter of clicking this front button twice. Now, looking at the storage here, I gotta say, it doesn't feel as deep as it does for the Model Y and Model 3. I thought it would actually be more space. I've previously sat in my Model Y frunk and I was somewhat able to fit, halfway maybe, but over here, let's see how well I fit. Oh, I think the Model Y actually had more space in the front, but you might even have trouble stowing a baby in here. But what you wanna do is stick to just groceries, because that's all it can have space for. Now, when it comes to wheels, you have two different options. One of them being the 19-inch Tempest wheels, and the other one, the 21-inch Arcanid wheels. I believe that's how it's pronounced, but that's a $4,500 upgrade. This previous owner decided to put their own aftermarket rims, and they actually wrote Fast EV. I don't know if I'll put that, but it looks pretty cool. Now, if you want to feel like absolute royalty, the Model S Plaid makes you feel that way. You see those handles over there? They're currently flush, but if you walk around with this fob in your pocket and you walk towards it, the handles will present themselves to you like an absolute king. See you later, peasants. Now, with this Model S Plaid, they got rid of that nasty chrome. I'm pretty anti-chrome, and they replaced it with a matte black handles. And that matte black actually continues all around the car. So you see this Tesla writing. This used to be chrome as well, but now it says Tesla on it, as well as the famous Tesla logo. They should make that black as well. You also get this cool carbon fiber spoiler. With the Model S long range, you get 0 spoilers. Now, typically with the Model S Plaid, you do get this badging. And now, depending on the year, you'll get the letters Plaid written on it, or the cool emblem that says Plaid. But you may be wondering, what the heck does Plaid even mean? Plaid is a reference to the movie Spaceballs, and it's to show that it's actually quicker and faster than Ludicrous.
They've gone to Plaid!
But we're not quite done with the rear, because I'm curious to see how much space is in the trunk. So I'm gonna open it up. And it's cool because it actually is automated, and it does come with this button if you do want to close it, which is pretty cool. Now, I have to admit, I'm pretty spoiled when it comes to storage and practicality as a Model Y owner, but I don't think you're really giving that much up, because this is more of a hatch versus a typical sedan that has a boot that dips. So if I open this, look at all, I'm actually pretty surprised, and look at how much space there is. You'll notice that they added an accessory here in case there's any spillage or anything like that. It's easier to clean, because this material right here, to vacuum that, best of luck to you. And on the side pocket as well, you can probably put your charger here or the little adapters and things like that. Like on this side, you have this cool mesh net for small little items that tend to roll around. You can park it right here and know that it'll be safe even though you're absolutely flooring it. Because I know if you have the Plaid, you absolutely are flooring it. It also comes included with this thing. I don't know what the heck it's called, but it's great for keeping things tucked in, I gotta say. So you can also remove it if you find it a little bit annoying. You can tuck it to the side or just yoink it off. You're like, hey, I don't need this. Just yoink it. But this right here is a lot of space. So when it comes to practicality, I don't think you're actually giving that up if you were to go the sedan route. Now you do get 2 buttons to store away the rear seat. So when I press this down, unfortunately it doesn't go all the way down. It does go all the way down in the Model Y, but it's not going down here. So you do have to crawl in and push it down. But if you don't want to push it down, you'll notice there's a little button here and there's a little button there. So you can actually go around and you don't even need these buttons technically. You can just go here. I can click it back in, find the button, press it down and fold it down. So really, I gotta say, those buttons are kind of useless if you have to push the seats down yourself.
Now time for a quick speed round of 3 minor annoying things about the Model S Plaid. Number 1, a manual frunk. Now I get it for the Model 3 and Y for cost saving reasons, but at this price point, the Model S Plaid really should have an automated frunk.
So I also want to talk about this creepy vane that runs through the steering wheel. How come no one's talking about this and how come we're okay with this? I really don't think this should be passing QA. And this model particularly, it's actually not too bad, you can barely see it, but I've seen models where it's sticking out and it's thick. I don't want that on my steering wheel. My personal preference.
Number 3, handles that keep opening and closing when you're near it.
Fuck off. So annoying. The drawback I've heard from Model S owners is that these door handles tend to not function sometimes and stop working because the mechanism that controls it from flushing in and going out tends to fail. But hopefully that doesn't happen today. Now with the Model S Plaid or the long range, you have the option to get 3 different colored seats. Black seats, the black and white interior, or this cream option that comes with ventilated cooling and heated seats. And let me tell you, this has 10,000 miles on it, and the biggest concern people have is about gene stains. And look at this, how well it's held up. It looks brand new. It looks like I'm literally getting it from Tesla's showroom directly. Don't be scared of the cream seats or the white seats if you are not getting it for that reason. Now, when it comes to the interior door design, there's 3 things to keep note of. One of them being this cream panel that matches the interior. You also have this carbon fiber strip to match the center console, as well as this cool fabric. And it's a very cool way of uniquely identifying the Model S Plaid. Now with the Model S long range, you get this dated looking wood finish, but because this is a Plaid, you get this carbon fiber finish on the center console. So if I were to open this all the way, you'll see another storage that you can close for storage over here, and then obviously open for further storage down there. And it goes all the way to my elbow. And guess what? This can move. You can even get rid of this cup holder and it reveals 2 USB-C ports that you can use. One more cool thing. Well, if I were to tap it once, it closes only halfway in case you have any drinks. And it's warning you, make sure you don't shut this when you have 2 drinks. But if I tap it lightly one more time, it fully closes. Peak of luxury, baby. So here we are, the controversial yoke steering wheel. And don't get me wrong, it's not controversial just because of the way it's designed, because they have introduced the round steering wheel, and that's actually the free option now. And you have to pay extra for the yoke now because they actually realize the customers kind of hate it. And they'll not only hate it for the design, they hate it for these capacitive touch buttons, right? So regardless of it being round or not, you're stuck with it. So if I want to do turn left or right, and when you have use your indicator, press it, and it's like a feedback that you get when you actually are clicking the right signal, left, right. And the same with the horn. There's no horn here. You have to hit this. And now, that was loud. So the other controls are pretty similar to a typical Tesla. You have 2 wheels that you can use for volume and the other to navigate the screen as well. So that doesn't really change. You also have this way of talking to the Tesla. If I were to press this, Tesla, I'm feeling hot. Sentry mode engaged. Okay, that worked out perfectly. So I also... Now, in terms of this giant infotainment screen, it's not that much different than a Model 3 or Y screen. The responsiveness is phenomenal. It doesn't lag at all. Like I can pinch outside, it'll load pretty fast. That really separates Tesla from all other cars. I can press this down if I want to know where the heck all the supercharging stations are. I zoom out, that's where they are. It even indicates how many numbers are available, as well as V2 or V3 supercharging as well, right? I'll even tell you if there's a wait time at a supercharger, so you can absolutely avoid that. So no problem in terms of finding where you can charge this thing. Once I hit brake, you'll notice that the gear selector appears on the screen. There are no stocks here, which I think is a terrible idea by Tesla, because it actually is a pain to always push this forward if I want to drive, move this back if I want to reverse, or just tap here for neutral, or just tap here to park the car. And they're trying to be innovative, they're trying to be unique from other car manufacturers, but sometimes the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm 5'9", and I'm about to test to see how the ride comfort is back here. So in terms of headroom, there's plenty, but if I was a little bit taller, I might run into a little bit of trouble, but I have to be a lot taller. In terms of leg room, we are good. And you also have 2 USB-C ports back here, right? So if you want to charge your phone on a long road trip, you have that option. So with this screen, you have the option to control the climate, as well as heated seats. So you can choose 3 different settings each, but unfortunately still no cooling back here, but you can control the different levels. Boom, 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 great. Music as well. So if you have annoying kids, this may get a little bit annoying. If there's just messing around, clicking back, front, play, pause, make sure they don't touch this. What you can do is distract them with media, because you do have a few options. You have Netflix to keep them quiet because they can get pretty loud and annoying. Besides Netflix, you can also go on YouTube, follow your favorite YouTuber. You also have Tesla tutorials, but I doubt your kids will watch that. Let's give it a break here. Disney Plus and Twitch. So pretty cool, keeping your rear passengers distracted.
Time for another speed round of 3 interesting things about the Model S Plaid. Number 1, your Model S has a gaming rig, which means Tesla lived up to their promise of being able to play games from Steam, and you can even use a PlayStation 5 controller to play. Number 2, the Plaid animation you see when you use drag strip mode to launch your Tesla. Number 3, it is simultaneously the fastest and safest car in the world. In fact, if you look at the data, NHTSA rated the Model S Plaid second lowest probability of an injury out of any car. And guess what? The other 4 are also Teslas.
Faster than any Porsche, safer than any Volvo. In the same car. That's insane.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. And you better bring a diaper, because this is about to be absolutely terrifying. This car is over 1,000 horsepower. So we'll do a true test of the 0 to 60 because they claim 1.99, but can I actually get that? Let's see.
But before we measure its performance, let's take it around town and see how it drives day to day.
Now, what makes the Model S Plaid truly unique from the Model 3 or Y is the adaptive suspension. It drives absolutely smooth like butter. You have so many different settings that you can set your suspension. You can set your ride height to very high, high, medium, or low. You also have adaptive suspension damping. You can set it to comfort on long road trips. And if I were to hit sport and you want to go a little wild with the acceleration, you'll see the changes happening within this cool visual as well.
Now, besides the suspension being much better than the Model 3 and Y, I have to say I got used to driving with the yoke, since I do use one hand most of the time, which surprised me, and I also got used to the turn signal buttons fairly quick. And driving with the additional gauge cluster screen that displayed FSD visualization was a refreshing change, and if you were to get that round steering wheel, wouldn't you have trouble actually seeing it? However, I still cannot get behind the removal of stocks, because it will forever be a longer step to use the screen to change your drive select rather than just having it mounted near the steering wheel. Now, admittedly, I did terrible in my first pull, since I literally got too scared and left off the throttle a little bit. I also don't believe these were the ideal summer tires. And what's up with the brakes? Having driven a McLaren 720S and a Lamborghini Aventador around a track, I noticed the brakes were not up to par and were horrible. They need considerable improvement. But regardless, these performance numbers are impressive. And my favorite part was seeing my wife's reaction.
Jeez, this car is no joke. This car is no joke. If you have an inexperienced driver, don't bring him near this car. Don't. I'm not saying I'm the best driver, but I know when to actually put the brake on and not to push it too much. How does that feel? It feels like something's happening in your stomach. It's something's. It's like it's like a portable roller coaster. That's the only way to say it. Like, just put away. I don't need to go to theme parks anymore. Yeah, it's pointless. Because if we have this car, want to get this car? I mean, if we were to have this car, we don't have to go to a theme park because it'll always deliver that.
So do I believe the Model S Plaid is worth it? Honestly, for most people, no. The long range goes 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds and it includes most of the features one would find useful day to day. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, but if you want the bragging rights of owning one of the fastest cars ever built in human history and want to smoke Lamborghinis at red lights, make that purchase or buy a used one from CarNext, who provided me this Tesla for this review.